Hi, good afternoon, Peter, or maybe I don't know if it is Nico that is checking my assignment. So this is my final assignment for C++, final assignment. So I decided to do like three different projects. My main project, of course, like just to follow this instruction, is actually the phone book, and I'm going to display it and of course explain the code, and also like another one also more on the OOP. But anyway, this is what it is, this and this. So let's go to the first one quickly. So some stream, but let me just put a demo first. Starting, yeah, good. Loading nicely, yeah. So we have different options. For example, let me see number of content I have in my address book, 8. So you set it, number is 0. Or if I say, let's say 3, for example, if I want to search, nothing. Let's say if I want to delete 6, nothing, because I did not put anything. So let me add something. So I can say, let's say John, right? And let's say 222, for example. Then I can display with 2. So there I have it. I can add more even. So I have this. So let's say Mike, for example, then I can say this, yeah, for example. So let's display it. There I have it. So now I've added two. Let me try to like maybe search by name, for example. That is like free. Yeah. So that's supposed to be John, right? Yeah, it found it. So then let me maybe I search by number. So let's try number 4. And that is supposed to be 222, if I remember correctly. Then what happened if I don't find the number? So let's say I just put some random number. The number is not in the phone book, yeah, something like that. So let me try to delete, for example, or update a contact first. So that is 5. So name, that is John, right? Then new name, let me say is Johnson now, right? And the phone number, let me change it also. Then I have that. So if I put a list now too, yeah, so everything is actually like updated, as we can see. So let me try to delete a contact, for example. So maybe I go to 6. So that is Johnson, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it's deleted. So let's see, from our list too, it's gone, right? So let me add maybe, or let me just try to delete everything and see. I can check quickly if that is, yes, it has, it is only one now. And if I want to delete all the contacts, I just press 7 and everything is deleted. Now it's empty again. And that is actually the application. It's very simple application. Maybe I exit with 0 just to see, and of course click anything. So ideally I have this IO stream and just of course CNC out and the window H, so that I can use this sleep function, which I'm going to explain in my starts. If I go here, so I have this, I just print out, and of course I'm doing some sleep loading and everything like this. So that's what this one is doing. But if you go back to the menu itself, I have this, I'm printing the options basically. Then of course after that, if you choose the number, I can clear the screen and of course put the input value, then setting the color here, the background, and also the text itself. And depending on the choice that my user has actually made, I have a switch case that is like do while loop. So case 1, you're going to have the contacts just like that. Then of course I'm choosing with this index, just add it. Then of course I have case 2, which is about the, yeah, let's see, book is empty, please add, yeah, show all the contact. Basically I just loop over them, and then because I've created, this is 100 here because I've actually already created like 100 space with my variable, I think, yeah, somewhere here for the full name and also for the numbers. And my menu is actually is returning, so I'll quickly go there. So I'm returning the input, so that's why I set it as the input value. And then just different option. If I'm using like a case 4, search by number. If it is not there, I just said, okay, this is not there. I'm just increasing the index and check. If it increases, that means it's actually found. Otherwise it's 0, then I just say no, it's not there. And that is just pretty much it. So just the same case switch and switch case situation and all this stuff. I'm going to upload my code and you can see better. So I kind of like put it more in a kind of a bookshop, like a bookstore, where you can check like different OOP, like inheritance and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, let's continue. So as I was saying, so here pretty much very similar. The con IO is just for me to use this get character, which actually hold the console open until the user has something to put. So I don't need to use a do while loop here. And then if you see, this is kind of more like a clean code. Like I have my base class, which is like defining all the like constructor and also the class variables. And after that, of course, I set like about 20 books. Of course, I can reduce it just to check. Then I created each methods like this. So set the color the same way also. And of course, like we're going to see different options. Then depending on that, of course, I can add, for example, I can search, I can update. I think I will quickly also demo this, but if you look at it, so this is like because inside this class that I inherited from the book, from the base class. So that's why I'm selecting it like this. And I pretty much did the same thing, but there's really something interesting here, which is like this is more detail. So when I'm searching, so I can search by publisher name, by edition, by number of pages, because it's not reasonable that the author name of a book change from time to time. So I didn't put all this author name and stuff. Maybe if you want to change a publisher, usually sometimes maybe it's the same, or maybe you change the edition, maybe the price has changed or something like this. So just another switch case which I'm going to show. Then of course, at the end of the day, I just like show books. I show all the books. Then I just delete all the books like in a different way here. So the code is a bit different. Then I just created like a new instance of this class book action class. Then I show the menu. Then from the menu, I can call my other function that was being inherited. So let me quickly do a demo so you can see. So yeah, it's just another background. For example, let me try to search a book just to see. I say, oh, database is empty. Please add a book to the shop. So because there's nothing there really. If you also, let's say 5 to show books, it's the same also. So let me just add one book. Let's say if the ID is 676 and the name is like John whatever do. Of course, if I've been able to use like getline, maybe I can put like a longer name with space. But yeah, since I'm using C in, so I cannot put a space basically. So let's say the author is John, right? And let's say the publisher is J Pop, for example. If you want to call it like that, it's the second edition. Of course, number of pages 340, 34. And the price, let's say 200. It's a very expensive book. Then I held it back a bit. Then I return back home automatically because I'm actually doing that here. If I show you here, add book. Let me go there. So after I've added everything, I just sleep, I waited, then of course pause my code, then call this show menu automatically, so it return all automatically. So let's just continue. Maybe I had another book, so maybe I can add again one more book. So let's say this one is 222, for example. This one is Mike, whatever, let's say Mike JD, and this by Mike, and it's like J Pop again, maybe like this. Of course, edition is first in this case, and of course number of pages is 300, 340, and of course price is only 12 euro or 120 euro. Then of course it go back home. Then I can maybe display all my books now. For example, I want to say 5, show all my books, then they're all there. Or maybe I want to update a book, right? So let me quickly show you again so I can remember the number 1677, yeah. So I can say maybe update the book 3. I'm going to choose the ID, which is 222. Then now I can choose, okay, do I want to update the publisher? Do I want to update the edition? So maybe I'm not updating everything at the same time. So if I'm updating the publisher, so let's say 1, so I can say now, nice, new pub or something. New publisher, if you want to call it like that. Yeah. Then book is updated successfully, right? And of course, after I updated, I call the same function, just like sleep. The same thing also here is what I did. Then of course, I've shown all the books I can delete. So let's say I want to delete now. That is 4. So 222, and the book is deleted successfully, of course, and automatically went back home. The same sleep and of course show menu. And then let's show our list again. So that will be 5, right? And there's only one that is there now, right? So I can go back, then let me count the total number, 6, and then yeah, I think that is pretty much it. So, and that is it, right? Yeah, thank you. So maybe I just put let me just put let's say exit, so that is 7, right? So 7, it exited the code, and yeah, and that is all about that. So that's my second project. So I would say in a better, more cleaner code, and of course using some basic like element of OOP, like of course the inheritance, and I have to make this public so that I can inherit it. And the more interesting one for me is actually this kind of a gameplay OOP based like design where I'm having this kind of competitor base. So like imagine like you have two players. So it's a kind of a simulated situation. Like look at the number of wins if you play, so also number of rounds, something like this. So two-player army and of course a navy if you want to call it like that. Then I have a base class that I've created. And of course maybe let me go quickly to the header file, right? Yeah, this is the header file. So of course, Pragma wants just to include this file once, include a string because I'm using a string somewhere there, and of course I'm passing this constructor here. Of course, it's also public, and I'm giving some parameters, and I'm using like a memory address here so that you can actually reference it. And of course, I'm like using different methods here and all this. And this is the interesting one because I'm using some element of polymorphism here in such a way that I can actually override this particular method in other classes that actually inherited it. Then, of course, these class variables, which actually a protected access access what did they call it, specifier. So it's protected so that it can be inherited, because if it is private then I need to create like this get method and everything like that. So I just decided to do it like this. And then if I go here, for example, the army class, so let's go to the dev file first. So I have this kind of what's it called, competitor file, and then I have this, as you can see. So I'm overriding it here basically because here I actually, let me go back, yeah, because I don't have any like base definition, so I just like, it's just like nothing. But when I came here, so I override it, and of course the definition is here in the army.cpp, which is actually get attack. It's been the actual implementation is here in different cases, like generating random number from 0 to 99, that is 100 cases, then checking, something like that basically. These are the conditions. Here I'm actually passing, yeah, as you can see, inherited here, and of course passing all the parameters there. And then that is that for the army like a header file and also the cpp file, which I've already discussed. So let's go to the Navi. So the Navi is pretty much the same, but in this case, yeah, I don't have any like parameter for the construction function. And of course, it's also been inherited from the competitor, and I have this public declaration so that I can actually access it, right? Then of course, I'm also overriding it then with an extra like class variable, which is not there on the army. So then I can quickly also show this, which is the navi.cpp. So this is the implementation here. It's different, and this is a real like polymorphism in action. So of course I pass the parameters here and also the marks sheet at the same time, and of course it's been inherited. And I think that is pretty much it. But if you go to the final, like the source itself, which is here, the attack.cpp. So I've created them, of course, here using this notation because then because we have different like implementation, the polymorphism that I said. So the pointer at the runtime when it's compiling, it has to know, okay, which one of the implementation am I supposed to use? So I'm pointing it, and that's also make me to use this kind of syntax instead of the dot notation. And that is pretty much when it is false. These are just the condition which I've actually like implemented following some tutorials. And then yeah, some number of simulations is about 1 million. And then yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And let's just try to run it and see, expecting some 72 try something like difference for each win for each player. So let's see what we have. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, and I think yeah, that's what I was expecting also, and that is it. And that is it. So I've been able to demonstrate polymorphism, inheritance, you know, all these kind of concepts of abstraction, all these kind of concepts in OOP. And I think that is it. So I would like to get like to be graded like a 1 to 5. I really want to get like a maximum grade, which is 5. I wouldn't want to pass or fail. So I've tried to put a lot of effort and do different, just to show what I've learned so far. So yeah, thank you and have a good time.